This is Dale. I'm back again to share my experience as a grandparent slash grandmother. Um, I want to thank all of those that gave such positive and such emotional support to me on my first talk. Um, it did not go unnoticed. I love you all and I thank you for being so supportive and actually understanding what it is for me to be a grandmother at this time of my life slash parent. Um, I want to talk about today. Excuse me if this camera's, I'm still getting adjusted here, like my best shot and trying to get my laptop fixed. But so I have to do this from the phone and I don't know how people do it, but I'm doing the best I can. Um, so I just want to share today that, again, I am raising a 7-year-old who I had since she turned 4, and also an 11-year-old who I've had off and on throughout his life, and he is now 11. The girl's in second, the boy's in fifth, about to go into middle school. So, I want to just say that this journey started out very hard for me. I want to reiterate on that. Very hard. I would cry out to God every single day. I would cry on the way to work. I know you find it hard to believe, but yes, I did cry every day to work because I didn't know how I could do it, how I was going to do it, didn't see myself doing it. I live a very full life as a empty nester. It's just myself and my husband, and we like to travel, hang out together, eat at restaurants, of course, not cooking as much. And for me now, it's a lot of cleaning. Yeah, a lot of cleaning. It's not just myself and him. We don't have to clean up that much. It stays for the week or whenever, you do some dusting. But with 2 kids, let me tell you, there's always cleaning to do. And as an empty nester, you don't expect to be doing all this cleaning. Fingerprints on the walls, extra clothing for laundry, just tracking in the house. Could be leaves, dirt, things on the floor from after they've eaten their dinner, their breakfast. You're cleaning up crumbs all the time. And I find this very tiring. It's like, are you kidding me? And again, you have to look at this not, this is my emptiness time. It should be. Not my time as a grandmother where they come and visit and then they go home after you enjoy them. These two are here right now, and I've had them going on 4 years straight. The mom still seems to be trying to get herself together. I'm not holding my breath about her right now. As a matter of fact, neither am I holding my breath about my son. I have settled in, and I'm still settling in as far as where we're going from here. We do have guardianship of the children. We opted for that, and we didn't want them to go into a foster care because we know that foster care places are not always what they seem. You heard enough horror stories. And in my family, you don't put the kids in the foster care. You take care of your family. So I know my mother was alive. She had my sister's kids, and she refused for them to go into foster care. So I definitely would follow the same footsteps. I cannot see the kids going to foster care. Now, I'm going to be honest, are there moments where I was tired and feeling like, are you kidding me? Just take them away? Yes. Yes, I felt that way. I'm just being honest because I was so overwhelmed and did not want this assignment that God has clearly placed on my lap and in my husband's lap. So let's just say it's hard. Let's just start when they first came, and especially the 4-year-old. The boy was here, and when the mom got arrested, DCF wanted to take him out of our home. He was here just to visit for the summer. and we had put him in camp, trying to show him some other routes because he was having behavior problems and she couldn't handle it. So we said, send him here and let's work with him a little bit and try to get him on the straight and narrow and then give her a little breather. But in that course of July, she got arrested. The other baby, my granddaughter, got snatched up by DCF, and her sister, she has an older sister, got snatched up. And so the boy, they wanted to come here and get him, but we said, no way. My husband's like adamant about, no, you're not going to come get him. He's going to stay. And besides, our names were already down as grandparents and next to kin that can take the child. And we have already had him several times anyway. So no sense snatching him out only to bring him back the next day. Why traumatize a kid when you don't need to? But I feel that sometimes DCF, they're not thinking, and you have to help them think. Also, so he was with me, and he was, 6. What is he, 11? So given that 4 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so 6 on steady on with him. And then my granddaughter was just turning 4, a toddler. So imagine I had to find babysitting, and that's a task, finding babysitting, and of course dealing with DCF with their know-it-all selves sometimes. And I find they're needed. I'm not saying that the system's not needed, but what I am saying that they have people, now face it, I'm a grandmother, a mom, okay, 10 times over. And you got these people that are like 30, 28 coming over and telling you what to do and how to do it or what they're thinking. Okay, and really DCF? Anyway, they're good. They need them. We need them. But for grandparents in this situation, a young person is not experienced enough to deal on the level and the mindset. They're going by the book. And besides going by the book, they're trying to make the decisions as well as going by the book. And let's face it, the maturity level dealing with me is not always correct. It's not always there. So let's just say that when the 4-year-old finally did come here with us, she was, a baby, like I said, and short, tiny, and cute. And she came with just bare minimum of clothing. And the mom, of course, was gone to jail. We didn't know, surrounding the circumstance, how long would that be. But, of course, the whole house was just shaken up. My son, of course, was somewhere, of course, not being who he should be and where he should be at the time. So he was not capable of taking care of his own children as well. And I'm not ashamed to say these things. This is my son. I love him. You're always going to love your children. But again, he was not doing, and he's not up to par to take the children as well. Even though they did look to him, they always looked to Ken. But it seems like we were the best choice at the time. So we have these two. And the girl is now 7, doing beautifully. Her emotions, her change, they both needed to see social workers. So I had to go back and forth with social workers. So I'm probably skipping around a little bit. But when that decision came, it was stressful because we had to find babysitting for the 4-year-old. The boy was in camp, but the 4-year-old needed somewhere to go. I'm working. My husband's working. So, I can't just stop work. And at that same time, my husband wasn't feeling well. He was going through some medical circumstances. No need to share that. But he was going through some, a little bit of medical things himself. And so, imagine that put in my lap, as well as 2 young children. Now I have to be with them, take care of them, and didn't know how long, not sure what the mother's process was. And her arrests, what she got arrested for was like You won't believe it. But it was surrounded with, let's just say, it was not good. So we didn't know how long she was going to be in jail, and we did not know how long she, who else could take care of them. It was just us. So the baby had to have, the toddler, which is the little girl, had to have childcare. So DCF, of course, they're full board on, there to help you with that. They're really helpful with that, pretty much. But you still have to know people, open your mouth and tell people, there's a worker here. They were out of Springfield, in Boston. So, they work hand in hand because it's all Massachusetts. And they helped the agency to find a sitter, gave us names, and we would have to interview them. So let's just start from there. Week 1, week 2, supposedly finding a babysitter, and we had plans to go on vacation on a cruise. Yeah. And just wired down to the day before, we found a babysitter. We had close, dear friends that were willing to take on both children and watch them here in our home. Thank God for them. I love them dearly. But they were working too, because, like I said, we're all still working grandparents, still young enough, and we still have to work. And so I had to find a babysitter. The babysitter didn't happen. It was like the day before we would take our plane, we finally settled and DCF stepped in and we got a babysitter. We had to push them. Imagine the stress I was under. Like, I had to take this trip. The trip was scheduled. The plane was scheduled. We were going to leave. And my friends were working. So down to the wire, I found a home daycare for my granddaughter, and wonderful daycare. Thank God, he's always in the midst of everything that I've gone through, and it worked out beautifully. But can you imagine the day before, me, of all people, the boy was all set. He had camp, so he was already placed in camp full time during the day, not a problem. But here comes that little toddler. She's not old enough to go to a day camp. Okay, so where I live, I don't have I don't have family here. All my family's out of state. 3 hours away, and even further than that, down south. So I didn't have anybody to fall on, just my good friends here. And so that was hard, and that was very stressful. But thank God for my friends, and the day before, and the paperwork, everything got signed, and she was able to start her daycare that Monday. We'd be gone, but the friends that I have, they were parents, grandparents, so I knew I was in good hands leaving the children. And of course, they were DCF approved. You have to be DCF approved at this time because they were still in the foster care system. We had not gotten guardianship yet. So that was a stressful moment. Plus, I had to get their clothes together, make sure everything was lined up. An empty nester wouldn't have to do this. A regular grandma wouldn't have to do this. But a grandma that just got her kids dropped on her in her lap have to get the clothes all lined up for the week, make sure there's plenty of clothing for camp, make sure there's things in the house, food. They were staying here, so there had to be food. I left some cash behind because you should. Also, make sure that their medicines were all out. Everybody knew what medicines each child took because they had bad allergies. I had to make sure that, besides the food, just to line up their schedule, line up during what was expected of them during the week. Just some ideas. So my friend did have an idea how the week did flow. Really, this is what I had to do before I went and had my vacation. The empty nester supposed to be. So that type of thing, people don't realize that's something I had to do. But without a hitch, we did get on our trip and we did have a good time, relaxing and everything, nothing to worry about. And we came home, everything was in place. The children were fine. They had a good time. They played with other kids. My friend, my girlfriend, and her husband, they have grandkids anyway, so it's like one big happy family. So I'm very fortunate for that support line and that time. But I just wanted to share this part because this is how it all got started. I mean, it started with pretty much of a very stressful situation. And just to back up, when I had the boy one time, I was going on vacation as well. And he came, dropped in my lap. My husband and I were booked for a vacation because that's what we do. This is how supposed to be our life. And he came because the parents got arrested for whatever. And we were just going to Florida just to hang out, just to get away. And 2 days, 3 days before, here comes the little one, the boy, by himself. The girl wasn't born yet. And we had him. So just to back up, I had to run around and get a ticket, an airline ticket for him, which thank God he got the empty seat that was left. So again, I'm just sharing that I'll be back. I have somebody coming over right now, so it's probably going to get noisy in here. So I just wanted to share this, and I'll be back to you on the next talk. Maybe I can get back and do something else again later on tonight, but this is as usual, this is my household. This is the time, always busy. Somebody's knocking at the door. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening. Bye.